Just who in the hell do I think I am? Well, I'm DCFAYGOGUY, and this is DurtE's newest album, Just Who in the Hell Do I Think I Am? This was available, first came out back at the end of June. If you went to Camp Zool, he had them there for sale, as well as I believe he was on tour around that same time, and you could scoop it up at that tour as well. He did a release party for this album, I think it was back in July. And he's just steady been on the road. I know recently within the last 2 weeks of me filming and doing this review, he was also on tour. DurtE stays busy, absolutely busy. So this album right here is definitely a different one. If you are a fan of rap, if you are a fan of hip hop, this one may or may not appeal to you. It's definitely kind of a mix. There's some rap elements, there's a lot of country elements in it, and I would say even just kind of like soft rock slash folk music in this album as well. Now, I want to do a quick little like backpedal a little bit here. When Camp Zool was coming up, and it was first announced that DurtE was going to be at Camp Zool, I immediately knew I needed to jump in and check out his music. I really needed to all along. When I did my review for Mission Infect's Armageddon, which dropped back in March, Crux1 actually left this comment right here, and he was not wrong. During that review, I didn't mention DurtE at that time. Like, I've known of Mission Infect for a few years, obviously learned of them through Low Key. If you're not sure what Mission Infect is, I think the easiest way to describe them is kind of like the underground Wu-Tang Clan, if you will. I think that's a good comparison. It's a collective of different underground artists, kind of independent artists, if you will, all banded together in this super group. You know, the draft is coming up, 9/11, Mission Infect. I think they got some fucking big plans. But let's talk about DurtE more specifically here. But during that review, I totally brushed over DurtE. In fact, I didn't even remember hearing him on the album. And when I met him at Camp Zool, that was one of the things that I asked him. I said, hey, I don't remember, were you on Armageddon? During that time, he was on tour. Again, he works, man. Fucking DurtE grinds, stays on the road, stays busy. So during that recording of Armageddon, it was put together super quick. And the way that DurtE told it to me was that he basically got hit up by Loke to do something for the album. And, you know, DurtE was on the road, really couldn't do much. So what he did do is he does the chorus for Load 'Em Up, which, as I told DurtE, is actually my favorite song on that album. So, and, you know, it's very catchy. Anyway, fast forward, leading up to Camp Zool, knew I wanted to check out DurtE, and one of the first albums that kind of came to mind, or that kind of popped up to me, was Broken Strings and Beat Machines. And honestly, I would say that's easily, hands down, my favorite album from DurtE. I'm still fully diving in. I haven't listened to, I've listened to Bitter maybe one time, the EP. I have not listened to PA Pounders, which is kind of a compilation of various songs. And I haven't listened to some of his older ones. I think it's the one's called I'm Not a Hype Man, or More Than Just a Hype Man, I think. He also has the Weekend Warriors with Hatred and a bunch of other guys. I think 4 of them total in that. So I'm still really diving into DurtE. But leading into Camp Zool, I was like, I'm going to check out some of his music. That way when I'm there and I see him, I know what's up. I'm not just that guy that's like no clue who's on the stage right now. So I made sure to go do my homework, but Broken Strings and Beat Machines was really the one that I latched onto. And the thing about this album is this really feels like a sequel to it. Again, I haven't fully dived into all of his albums, but I don't know if all of his solo music is kind of that hybrid of country and rap. I'm assuming some of his older stuff is more so rap and hip hop. It kind of made me wonder, though, if he does have a lot of rap albums, but he also does these hybrid albums. One thing that I think would be really cool is to do a series of albums called Broken Strings and Beat Machines, and just, you know, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 them. And again, this feels like a direct continuation of Broken Strings and Beat Machines. There's a nice mix of rap songs, and there's a nice mix of what I would say are country rap songs, and then straight up just like quote-unquote country sounding songs. And I think that's going to turn a lot of people off. A lot of people don't like that. It's you know, Boondocks A lot of people don't care for Boondocks for the same reason, but I've stated this before. I'm a big fan of Boondocks, and a lot of it is I come from a small town in Indiana. I'm a small town kind of quote unquote farm boy. I had an uncle that worked on a farm. I helped him on the farm. So that's a very big part of my background. And that's honestly some of the type of music that I do tend to gravitate to. But I want to flip it over and show you guys the back. This is just a little cardboard sleeve, like I said in my review of Stray's Cloudy Alibi. I've come around to these because they actually save a lot of room. And you're going to notice a very, very large track list here. The physical copy of this album comes with a bunch of bonus tracks. And the thing about the bonus tracks, when I uploaded this CD, I actually didn't really put any of the bonus tracks on because everything on here, I haven't fully double checked everything, but like 95% of the songs on here are songs that were from previous albums. There's some stuff from Broken Strings and Beat Machines on here. There's things that ended up on PA Pounders. So, you know, the bonus tracks, as cool as it was to get them in a physical form on this CD, I felt like putting them on and putting them on my phone was going to take away from the main album experience, which is these tracks right here. So I'm only going to be talking about these tracks right here in this review. Now, I'm not going to play you every song off of the album, but I am going to play you some snippets of my favorite songs off of the album. And this album, let's go to the track list, is You Don't Know Me, Grindin', Front Porch, Workin' Hard, Drinkin' Song, Every L You Take, Slow Down, and Run From Your Nightmares. Since this is 8 tracks, I think I'm only going to give you my top 3. Typically, I will give my top 5. The longer the album, the more songs I'm going to talk about or highlight as my favorites. So there are some that, you know, let me go through here and get my 3. And I may talk about more than just my top songs. And for the most part, if I talk about the song, I'm probably going to highlight it and play something for you. But I definitely think You Don't Know Me.
Growing up, I was the only kid I knew that really got my ass thrown out of the house. I'm talking about sleeping in the phone booth in a small town where everybody knows you around, but nobody give a damn, so I came up with the plan. Gonna find a way to make a little bit of loot and bounce. Had to make a fake ID since I'm only 15. Hope the job I got don't ever check it out.
This is where it gets tough. Run From Your Nightmares is definitely a top track.
I know what's waiting for me, don't wanna sleep. When you run from your nightmares, running in places I can't lengthen my lead. When you run from your nightmares, go after something that seems just out of reach. When you run from your nightmares, you just might end up chasing your dream. Yeah, we spend so much time on which way to go that we never even get out of the blocks, but that's the way it goes. Hey, you know, it's never too late to pick up the pace and chase some goals. Pain arose, the aches and moans, it takes its toll. Mistakes and lows can break you, gotta outpace them when you race for. Don't matter which way you run.
And I think I'm gonna put Front Porch in my top.
I'm on the front porch selling cocaine in a rocking chair my granddaddy made. I'm just trying to get paid. I wonder if he sees us doing so bad. I'm trying to get the things my family never had. In a one-light town, every kid grew up to have the same job as his dad.
And I think my favorite out of the 3, and this is tough, I think my favorite, I'm going to say, is Run From Your Nightmares. I really like this song a lot. It's more hip hop, but, you know, he is singing on here. And I love the whole concept of when you run from your nightmares, you might end up finding your dreams. And I love that. You know, when you're trying to escape a dark past, sometimes you find your way and find your peace. You know, it kind of ties into some Juggalo shit with the Marvelous Missing Link, Lost and Found. You know, I love that concept a lot. You Don't Know Me, I think, is just a really great starter to it. You get a little bit of that do-no-no-no-no. So you get like the guitar strums, and it kind of sets you up, I think. And this is why I say I feel like maybe this could have been like a Broken Strings Beat Machines Part 2 or Volume 2, however have you. is because you hear that and immediately that just made me think, okay, we're getting into some more country shit on this one. And then the beat fucking drops and then DurtE's just spitting. And I absolutely love that. It's a great startup. It's a great hype. And I'm trying to remember, I think he performed this at camp. And it was one of those ones where, you know, he's up there just, and the way that some of the songs he performs and the way that he performs them, he is feeling the music. And I think for that has kind of been instilled into my brain now when I listen to some of the songs that he performed. I'm attaching that memory of seeing him perform them, especially some of the ones that were on this. Some of them he performed that I had already heard previously, but they kind of got rewritten as well. And now I just imagine him on that stage. He's just got a really good, he's just got good rhythm, I think is the best way to say it. But then Front Porch, another one of my top songs. This one has a very nostalgic memory for me because at Camp Zool, he revealed the story of the song and how it came about. It was actually originally written by McNasty. And I can't remember if he said that McNasty was going to feature him on it, but somehow he had heard the song from McNasty and he straight up was like, yo, can I have this song? Because I want to sing this on stage. And McNasty came up and they sang it together.
On the front porch, selling cocaine. In a rocking chair, my granddaddy made.
And honestly, when I then went and listened to this album, I was surprised that it didn't feature McNasty. I thought that would have been really cool and it would have been kind of like a nice little nod. Obviously, having the performance and him telling that story was great because it gave that backstory to the song. But I feel like having McNasty actually as a feature, maybe doing the chorus or doing a verse or doing something, I feel like would have really helped tie everything together and tie that story together with the song. But I absolutely fucking love this. Again, come from a small town. If you want to Google it, Parker City, Indiana is my hometown. That's where I'm from. And it's tiny. It's a small ass little hick town. And the thing about that town is just like off of the fucking chorus on Front Porch. I don't want to be here, but I'll probably never leave. I remember growing up, and even as a young adult, like 18, 20, somewhere in that age range, I remember so many people that I used to go to school with, they got the fuck out of Parker. They did not stay, they left. A lot of people went to Muncie, which is the nearest big city to Parker City. So most people went there. A lot of people went to Indianapolis. I remember a lot of my classmates that I went to school with just kind of scattering. They did not stay in Parker City. There is some that did stay. So for me, there's also kind of that nostalgic, personal aspect to that song as well for me. But I absolutely love it. I love fucking singing along to it. Absolutely great. This is just a really great album. If you're open-minded to the country sound, I think you would enjoy it. And if you're not, again, this is probably not something that you're going to enjoy. But I absolutely love it. And I'm so glad that I checked out DurtE. I'm so glad that he was at Camp Zool to really open me to more great music. And honestly, I think I would have gotten there eventually because he is part of Mission Infect. So it's been a very slow process. It started with Low Key, immediately started checking out Gruesome, and I'm a fucking Gruesome fan like a motherfucker. And then Mad Max has been the most recent. I would say actually now DurtE is the most recent. So I'm slowly checking out all of the individual artists that are part of Mission Infect. But if you have not heard this album, go give it a listen. Again, if you're open-minded to the country sound. If you're not, you may not care for it. So it's not really for everybody, but if you're open to it and you do like that, it's definitely an album worth checking out. If you have listened to it, tell me down below what you like about the album. And if you have anything negative to say, remember to be respectful. I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.